you. First of all, I just want to point out that I'm 4 months pregnant, because people immediately look, and then they go, well, I can't say anything. So I just want to tell you that, so you look and know and relax. I'm going to set my own timer, because 5 minutes is somewhere down here, but I don't know where. There, thank you. But I think I need a better timer than that. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so I wanted to tell you about three, well, there's more in here, but like 3 critical things that have helped me in my business. And then I'll launch into story. I'll just tell you overview, and then I'll launch into story. So the first one is understanding your finances. The second is surrounding yourself with trusted advisors. And the third is setting goals. So let's see. I started Hub in 2004, and I really thought that my career was going to be a traditional designer, you know, like I'll be a junior designer, and then I'll maybe like work my way up to being a senior designer, and then if I'm really good, then maybe I'll be an art director, and if I learn how to manage people, then maybe I'll be a creative director. Like that was my career ladder that I saw. And that is not my story. So I graduated from school in 2000 and from Pacific Northwest College of Art. And I immediately got my dream job at Second Story Interactive Studios, and I was there for about a year. And the whole .com industry bubble burst, and they said, oh honey, you're not a programmer. Like, you're a designer, go be a designer, and here's this woman that you've been supposing to, they had this woman that they wanted to introduce me to, that in another social circle had been mentioned to me like for 4 years. And so when these 2 social circles mentioned that I should go meet this woman, I finally did, and she got me into Nike for a month-long contract where I was scanning like magazine pages for a month. So it was awesome. It was a great, got me in gig. And you know, that month-long gig turned into a 1.5 years out at Nike, which was amazing. I met incredible people, and I had the experiences at both of those companies was just, it kind of takes my breath away that was my launch out of school. And so my contract came up after a 1.5 years, and I was at a loss. I felt like I was going to die, because what do you do when you have a contract and it's over? You know, like, I was frozen. And so I sat paralyzed in my house that I had just bought, and I didn't know how I was going to pay the mortgage. And all of a sudden, freelance work started coming in, and so I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, I just need to show up and, you know, not be paralyzed. And so I did the work, and I did that for about a 1.5 years. And after about a 1.5 years, I had this good gig, but my biggest challenge was how fast can I get it done? Like, that was my design challenge at that moment. And that wasn't what I wanted from my career. Like, I was working in my home. I was not surrounded by the mentors that I thought that were going to make me that senior designer. And a girlfriend of mine that was also a freelancer, she was a project manager, she was sending me work for that 1.5 years, and she was moving to Europe with her family. And so she had all these clients that I had been working with and she had been working with, that who was going to be taking care of them. And I said, well, could I do what you do, kind of? And she said, well, hon, yeah, of course you can, but it's not design. And I said, well, I need something more than what I'm doing. And so she sent out an email to all of her clients saying, Hub Collective is gonna start taking over what I'm doing. And 30 minutes after that email went out, we had our first job. And it was off to the races after that. It was just nonstop. And I had my right-hand lady, who I call my right-hand lady now, she started 6 months after Hub was incorporated. And for the first 2 years, I was in total denial that I was a business owner. Like, I really just saw it as an extension of freelancing. I didn't see it as, I'm running a business. And after 2 years, I was like, oh God, I should probably hire you. Like, you're not just a freelancer, I should probably, and so all of a sudden I had this staff that I was hiring, and I started looking around, and we needed to bring in more computers, and it was just super fun. So we were playing business and marching along, and it was April 2008, and I was in Thailand on this amazing vacation. And oh my God, I realized day 2 of vacation, I was not gonna make payroll. It was the worst vacation I've ever had in my life. And I came home from that, and I was just starting to work with a new CPA, and this is that first piece of understanding finances, like I always knew that we had money and we were fine, and I just hoped that the checks would keep coming and work kept coming in the door, but I didn't have to really do anything more than that with the CPA that I had been working with. And all of a sudden, it was broken. Like the system was broken and we were gonna go out of business. And I started working with a new CPA and she said, "Oh, sweetheart, you have 1 month. What are you gonna do?" And I cried. And I said, "I don't know, I'm a graphic designer, what do I do? I don't know. You've been in business for a long time, what do you do? What would you do?" And she said, "Well," I'd pick up the phone and I'd call every single person I know. And I'd tell them that we need work, and if we don't get it, we're gonna go out of business. And I was like, okay. So I marched home, had a day of working from home, which was like a slice of hell for me. And I picked up the phone and I cried to my like 10 favorite clients. And they said, "Oh, honey, it's gonna be okay. We've got all these projects." And work started rolling in. And after the tears stopped with these clients, and I realized like, oh, this might be, I have to do this. Like I just have to start calling people. And then I realized there were like 150 people that I haven't talked to in 2 years. And so I'm no longer crying. I now have like a script, kind of loose script, that I can call and talk with people, and I did. And so that was not the end of the pain. The pain did not stop. Pay cuts happened. I had to let people go. And I remember somebody saying to me, "You need to react much faster than you're reacting." I was like, "But okay, I don't know how to act. I don't know what the next steps are." And so that's when I realized I needed a bigger network of people that had done this before. And that's what I did. I found people that were in the industry, that were other agency owners that have years of experience, and I started asking some really hard questions of like, when do you know? When do you know to let people go? And that network today, I have like a really close network of probably 20 people and a huge network of about 150 that I can reach out and ask any question that I want, and they will help me navigate. In 2009, so right after we're like scraping by with this business, oh my goodness, it's so painful. I found this woman, thank you. I found this woman that I had coffee with her. I met her at a networking event, and I had coffee with her, and I was like, "Oh my God, I so love what you have to say, and I so love how you say it, and I love what you're doing in the world, but I have zero idea of how we could work together." And she said, "I really think that you should form an advisory board." And I said, "Well, I don't know what that is. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?" She said, "Well, yeah, you put a trusted group of people together, and you meet quarterly, and you talk about your business." And I was like, "Well, would you be on it with me? Would you help me with that?" And she said, "Oh, I'd be honored." And as soon as she had finished the sentence, I knew who those people were. And I called them all, and I asked them if they'd be on this advisory board. And that, I would say single-handedly, was the biggest piece that changed my business. We meet quarterly, we talk about my business. And back in 2009, when I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing," it was things like, do I need to have locked filing cabinets? And that was a big issue for me. Like, it was $350, and I don't know, is it that important? And they would help me navigate really silly things to really heavy things like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how to talk with this client about how we handled this situation. What would you advise? And how should I navigate this?" And they helped me grow up as a business owner. And I would say that, in those meetings, I started getting more articulate. I've never written a business plan. That has not been, I didn't get in this thinking, I'm gonna start a business. I thought, I'm a designer. And all of a sudden I have a staff and we're doing this real thing. So in those meetings, I started setting goals of like, okay, well next year I wanna hit the 1 million mark. Well, that took like 10 years, but it happened, it finally happened. And every quarter we were working towards it, like, what are you doing to get there? And I think that that's the second thing that I would offer, understanding your finances, surrounding yourself with trusted advisors, and then setting goals it's the only way that I've been able to hit any mark that I've wanted to achieve. Otherwise, I'm just kind of, the minute I don't have a goal, I feel really lost, and the business acts accordingly, like, they need a CEO at the helm saying, North Star, that's where we're going, and this is how we're gonna get there. But that wasn't, I'm new as a CEO, I'm trying to figure this out. So, as the CEO of this graphic design company, I'm really trying to figure out how to take my staff and take my core belief systems and my core knowledge as a graphic designer and navigate us down this path of growth and finally, you know, with this words, I don't even know if I introduced myself as, you know, what Hub actually does, but we're a traditional graphic design studio. And what that means is we love working with clients that have their strategy in place, that have their marketing plan in place, that need a partner to execute it. And it took 10 years for me to get there. Like I was trained as a production designer, and for 10 years I was like, well, we do production design and we can work with you. But we do so much more than that, and my staff is so much more talented than I ever was as a designer, and they're constantly looking for challenges, and that is my job to deliver. So now, knowing that we're a traditional graphic design studio, and I can tell people that, and now that I know, like, if you don't have your marketing plan together, and you don't have a strategic viewpoint on what your company is doing, we're not ready to work together, but we have people that we can refer you to that can take care of that and get you here. So without my trusted advisors, there's no way that I could have gotten to where I am. Like, I really depend on other people to help me grow and learn, because I'm not a trained business person, I'm a trained graphic designer. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm really excited for you guys and what you're here learning. And that's all I have. Thanks.